Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite before this storm done take over and maybe cause me to lose some power. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We had a pretty decent night with AEW Dynamite. We did start off with tag team action. We had John Moxley and Brian Danielson versus Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher. Now we do have John Moxley who's making his way down to the ring. He's going through the crowd. Everybody's loving John Moxley. And right as he's coming through from the barricade, we do have an attack from Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher. I don't know if they were already in the ring or maybe they just decided to come out from the stage to attack John Moxley. We really don't get a chance to see that. They started off having the upper hand. Brian Danielson comes out, and they're just brawling around the ring for a little bit before they actually get into the ring and start the match. And it's so predictable. And I said this last week too. You look at every card, every match on the card, and you already know in terms of who's going to win. So you know who's going to win here. Well, I did enjoy this match. I kind of wish we had a little bit more of an upper hand for Jeff and for Kyle. They're part of the same group, the United Empire. They're also both champions, a New Japan champion, and Kyle's a Ring of Honor champion. And just like, I wish there was a little bit more for them in this match in terms of looking great with John Moxley and Brian Danielson. We had Uncle Don who's doing commentary, obviously for, Kyle Fletcher and Jeff and whatnot. And I love Uncle Don on commentary. He is usually pretty fair despite wanting his people to win. He's usually fair about things, and I absolutely appreciate that about him. But we do obviously get the obvious winners here. BCC end up taking the win. And really, I was just like, okay, even if y'all was going to win, y'all could have given a little bit more, I think, to have Kyle and Jeff shine more. Now, John Moxley, he goes onto the top rope, he's celebrating, and then Takeshita comes out and attack him. And at first, I didn't even know it was Takeshita. I was just like, but who the hell is that? Took a second or so before I realized it was Takeshita. Takeshita has his eyes out on that IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And he wants to fight, Moxley for it. Now, we do have a beatdown where it is Takeshita, Jeff, and Kyle beating on Moxley and Brian. Then here comes Claudio with a crowbar to even things out. And obviously, the heels end up running out the ring. But Takeshita got his eyes on that title. And I am so here for it. Up next, tag team action again. We had Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal versus the Young Bucks. Now, predictable as well. However, it does play into the storyline of the Young Bucks being these loser tyrants that people can't stand, that are obviously taking advantage of Tony Khan not being around or whatnot. The match is okay. It's exactly what you thought, that the Young Bucks would win. However, once again, I'm kind of feeling, I don't know what it is, but the Young Bucks have been messing up their finishes several times that I've noticed in recently. And this Tony Khan driver thing, I don't know. Y'all, they're going to have to tweak it or something. There's something that's just not connecting when it comes to them doing this Tony Khan driver. And that other time when they had a slip up with the EBP trigger, something, I don't know what it is. If y'all really excited in the ring that y'all cannot contain yourselves, so you're messing up your finishes. I always feel like finishers are so important, or just having those, specific spots or moves in the match where it's supposed to take things for a turn during a match are supposed to be executed perfectly. And I just feel like consistently we've been seeing the Young Bucks messing up their own fucking signature moves, which is a little bit weird to me. But they end up taking the win, pinning Christopher Daniels. Now, I don't remember what happened here, but Jack Perry during the match takes one of Ric Flair's gasoline energy drinks, and he takes a sip, and he lives, and then he pours the rest of it out on Tony Schiavone. Schiavone just looked like he was over it. Matter of fact, he was so over it. We didn't hear from Schiavone for several matches, because I guess he was so upset. He pretty much pour the whole thing on Shivani. And honestly, Shivani's usually the butt of the joke or whatever, and I get it. But he didn't really seem happy about the situation. And I could tell this was really him not being happy about it because he literally was sitting there for commentary and didn't say anything for several matches. And I would be upset too. Now, I would say this. With them playing with the storyline still, they end up firing Christopher Daniels after this match because Christopher Daniels put his hands on one of them last week, one of the Young Bucks last week. So there's like, hey, you've been here for 5 years, but we're going to have to let you go. You can't be putting your hands on EVPs, but we're going to make sure that you and your family is good. We're not going to just let you just go home and not be able to feed your family. We'll keep paying you for 30 more days. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to laugh because I don't want to make it look like they're entertaining me, but they actually are. So the Young Bucks thing, it's getting interesting, I think. And I wish that this whole Elite versus BCC thing would take place at another time. Oh, yes, I forgot to mention this. So for those of y'all who didn't watch a New Japan pay-per-view, sorry I did not review it, but I did watch it. Eddie Kingston had his match with Gabe Kidd, and he ended up getting really injured. Matter of fact, they pulled him out the Anarchy during the match. So someone's going to replace him. We're going to get to that in a minute because I have a lot to say about that. And they took him out because he cannot compete, especially in a match like that. There's just no way they're going to put him in that. So now we're waiting to hear who that extra person is because I did forget to mention FTR had a boring little promo prior to this match where they said that we're going to announce who our new person is for Team AEW. So we'll get into that in a second. All right. Oddly enough, I forgot to mention this little face-to-face thing that Malachi Black is supposed to have with Adam Copeland. That actually happened before the Young Bucks match. Basically, this was supposed to be Malachi responding to Adam's challenge to having this barbed wire cage match at Double or Nothing. And he was just coming out, looking all sexy, about to come out to the ring. And then he gets attacked by Buddy Matthews and Brody King. And then they bring him to the ring. They're holding him down. Malachi Black comes into the ring, all dark and shit. I love it. I just fucking love the House of Black and what the presentation in terms of how they look as a team and how they perform together. I love it, but there's no backstory with them, which kind of really, really suck. But anyway, Malachi comes in there. They already then gave him a beatdown. He goes, make sure they choking him while Malachi takes off his, was it Malachi or was it, well, one of them takes off his wedding ring. Then he puts it in his pocket and they continue to beat down. And they leave him in the ring. And by the time they leave him in the ring, Adam Copeland looked like he was knocked out, like sleeping, okay? He was just in the corner, not moving, nothing. Adam didn't get a chance to defend himself whatsoever. But we did have Kyle O'Reilly putting his nose in the House of Black business, and they whooped his ass. So really, at least somebody came to his defense, but it didn't really help at all. We do have later on Malachi who comes into like, I don't know, he's in the darkness and he's holding the ring or whatnot. And it's really, really interesting to see where things are going to go between him and Adam. I really think we're going to see something really special at Double or Nothing between these two guys. I can't imagine it going any other way. All right, so Hook has returned. Let me just say this. If you're gone for 2 weeks, even if you're gone for 3 weeks and you come back, that's not a return. I mean, it's not like you got injured and you stay and you have to go to rehab and you have this whole sob story to tell. They had nothing to do for you, Hook. So this is not a return, whatever. Hook returns and he goes against Sebastian Wolf, which I believe is a local talent or whatnot. And that match was over in like 30 seconds. Once again, they're using Hook to get in the ring and do pretty much nothing. And put somebody in the red room and they tap. And I just don't understand, like, who is supposed to believe that Hook is a great wrestler by having him in the ring for less than 30 seconds? That doesn't do a damn thing for us who's watching, and it doesn't do a damn thing for Hook, who is not getting able to truly wrestle. Yes, he's getting TV time, but is he wrestling? No. Now, after this match, the learning tree comes out. And it's Big Bill comes out too, and he's wearing a blue blazer, no shirt, and I'm just like, why are you covering those abs? This is a crime. Now, Chris Jericho, he's doing this crazy thing where he's being so annoying, and he's like, hi, everybody, I am the FTW champion. And then he has on those sparkly high heel boots that he loves to wear. Oh my God, Chris Jericho, when you retire, take those boots to retirement with you. Matter of fact, speaking of retirement, the crowd was chanting for him to retire, and he acknowledged them for the first time. Mentioning that they've been in Canada, he's been having great reception, but now we don't cross the border to Washington, and we ain't playing that shit with you, Chris Jericho. We want you to retire. Now, long story short, Hook is frustrated about the situation. He's like, hey, I want the spotlight to be on you. And then he takes a microphone that he has in his hand. And listen, guys, and for those of you who watched it and you didn't really catch this, look at it back. Hook lightly hits Chris Jericho with the microphone. It is almost as if he was scared to do it. Now, after he hit him with the microphone, though, he's bleeding in the back of his head. And I'm just like, as lightly as Hook hits you with that microphone, you shouldn't be bleeding. Only thing I could think of is they probably put something on the microphone so that when it hit Chris Jericho's head, that he would have blood. That's the only thing I could think of, because he did it so fucking lightly, where I'm just like, Hook, you need to come off as a threat, and you can't barely, I know toddlers that can hit harder than that, and he shouldn't have been bleeding, in my opinion. Chris Jericho, I don't know why you're bleeding, whatever situation is. I don't care for this. I really don't care for this. Later on, I forgot to say, Shibata came to help Hook or whatever. And I'm just like, once again, you guys are bothering Shibata to do what? Run a daycare business by babysitting Hook and being and everything that he's doing. Like, do we really need to be doing this with Shibata? Later on, we have Hook and Shibata backstage with Renee, Shibata with his translator too. And Hook is talking about how, he wants an FTW title back. They want to have a match. And then Shibata gets on his translator and said that he won the FTW title too. And then Hook is like, bitch, I can beat your ass for it too. All this foolishness. And I'm just like, okay, I get where you guys are going. However, it's just not really entertaining. And while that's going on, guess who shows up? Our other tribal chief, Samoa Joe, who comes out, and he's talking shit about Hook, and it's so funny. And what's his name? Shibata had a translator, and the translator said, he said on the translator, he's too big to be wearing a flowery shirt or something. I was dying. Like, Shibata is absolutely hilarious. I doubt that he truly needs that translator, but it does make things a little bit more fun. Shibata's been doing the translator thing for years. Hook, baby, I don't know what it is about you. Chris Jericho, we're tired of you. I'm over it. All right, second hour. Right at the top of the hour, we have Swerve Strickland versus Brian Cage. And I know he's champion, and he's not even opening the show. He's not closing the show. At that point is when I realized, okay, we're actually getting Dax Harwood versus Okada, and something about that does not scream main event to me. Maybe Okada main event, Dax Harwood, no. I would have preferred to see the show end off with Swerve and Brian. Now, I will say this. There's a reason why I think they didn't put this as a main event. But anyway, really great match between the two of them. I'm so glad to see Brian in a situation where it's just him. He's in a one-on-one match with Swerve, and he's doing his thing. Earlier on social media, he had posted a 2-minute promo at home, and that was great too. And he really came in the ring, and he was showing people, in my opinion, that he should not be one of these guys who are just lost in the shuffle. He should be in title pictures. He should be holding a title. That he should be one of those top guys. And I really do feel like he proved that in that match. At least we already knew that. But who better than Cage, right? Now, while this match was great, I really feel like it was very strong for Swerve as well. This is also Swerve's opportunity to show that, yes, I'm champion, and maybe I should be on the main event of this damn show. And I don't know. I don't know. I really thought that this could have been the main event. Swerve obviously wins. This was an eliminator match, so the title is not on the line. Brian could have won this and earn a title shot to go against with Swerve in the future. But these eliminator things, it never goes that way. For the most part, it never goes that way. Anyway, now here's part of the other reason why I think they could have ended the show off with this. After Swerve wins, our stepdaddy comes out with Mama Wayne, and they're on the stage. Now, Swerve was waiting for Cage to come out. Well, not that Cage, Christian Cage to come out. And while Christian is distracting him, obviously, here comes Nick Wayne to attack Swerve from behind. And then we had a Luchasaurus who runs into the ring. First of all, these two guys, Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, why aren't they wrestling? I get that they're part of the patriarchy, but why are they doing not a damn thing with them in terms of what they're in the company for? To wrestle. Now, Nick Wayne has a picture frame. I know a Dollar Tree picture frame when I see one, and that picture frame had a picture of Swerve with his daughters on it, and then he ends up hitting Swerve in the face with it. And then when Swerve is laying down on the ground, all you see is the blood just leaking like somebody's pouring water. And I'm just like, holy shit, the imagery of that is insane. I couldn't even believe like how much blood was just flowing out of his face, which was absolutely insane. Now, with that, I thought that would have been a really great way to end off the show. It looked great. They even pressed his face onto the ropes while we had Christian Cage cutting a promo on him, talking about how he was going to embarrass him because he ended up embarrassing Nick Wayne when he attacked them with AR Fox months ago. But I was just like, what the hell? Now, I'm going to say another thing, too. They were in Washington. Nick Wayne's from Washington. What's his name? Swerve's obviously from Washington. While they were behind Swerve, I really felt like they was gonna go crazy for Swerve, and the crowd, they were quiet. I don't know what was up with that, but that could have ended off the show, and it would have been great. But we'll talk about how the show ended because it's wild. All right, so we had Toni Storm versus Harley Cameron. I think the match went a little too long. Harley. This is the second time I've seen her in AEW. Outside of AEW, this is different. But within AEW, and for her to be the second time that I've seen her, because I don't know why they're talking about she's had like 5 matches or whatever. I ain't never seen those. And she's already going in this grudge match against Toni Storm. I don't know. Find it weird. I think they gave her a little bit too much time in the ring for someone who I feel like comes off to be inexperienced. And I'm not trying to say that in a bad way, but she's only had 20 matches or so in her entire career, which is crazy to me how they're putting her on TV with Toni Storm of all people. Toni Storm, she is so into this character. It's absolutely refreshing to see someone being a character in pro wrestling. This is what I always say is missing in pro wrestling. Characters. Everybody wanted to just come in the ring and just beat themselves. And I think Toni Storm was at that point where she came in the ring, was herself. People liked her. But here we are with a character that is absolutely going over. It's just really thought out. All her promos are thought out. She's funny. She's beautiful. She gets in the ring. She gets shit done. I absolutely love it. She ends up winning the match. I don't remember if the title was on the line, but I still think it's wild that Harley Cameron got an opportunity to get in the ring with Toni Storm while she's champion. Now, we do have the contract signing with Mercedes and Willow Nightingale. Everybody's talking about Willow highlight yellow green jumpsuit that she was wearing today. It was a very distracting color, but she's beautiful as always. Mercedes wearing like a royal blue color. She had blue and pink hair. Both of these ladies look absolutely amazing. You guys know when it comes to wrestling contract signing, it's not going to be pretty for somebody. And Willow Nightingale, I think she was really strong here. And surprise, surprise, Mercedes, I'm not a fan of her promos. I think she was strong here too. And Willow Nightingale saying that the last time she was in the ring with Mercedes, she ended up walking out as champion. And Mercedes couldn't walk at all. And I was just like, holy shit. That was a really good one. That's a really good one. Now, Mercedes obviously not happy about that. She gets into a scuffle with Willow, and Willow ended up lifting her ass up and slamming her through that table where they had the contract on. And it was just really strong moment for Willow Nightingale, who I believe is going to be losing the title at Double or Nothing. Stokely and Statlander did originally come out with her, but she was like, you know what, guys, you guys gonna go to the back. I got this. It was great to see just the two of them, no interference, no nothing. It was really great. Can't wait to see what happens at the pay-per-view. Now let's talk about the main event. Was this match main event worthy to me? I think they did a great job. Dax Harwood, he have like some kind of icy patch on his back, and he got taped up on his shoulders. He doesn't look to be in the best shape, but he's there. Okada is smiling every few moments, which absolutely is so cute to me. And I love that. That really plays into that heel character too, because it's like you're beating someone ass up, but you're smiling about it. What else what can you not like about that? Now, while I found it to be entertaining, I didn't necessarily find the match to be too much of a main event type of thing, but whatever. There is really a reason why this match in particular was last. This match literally came on like 2 to 3 minutes before the show would have originally been over. I think we went over 15 minutes for Dynamite tonight. Now, Okada obviously wins because the title's on the line. Did you see Dax taking that win? Hell no. Now, they win, but a whole fiasco ended up, playing out here. Obviously, the Young Bucks and them come out, and Jack Perry, and they're beating up on Dax. Cash comes out, Brian comes out, and those are the 3 members that are left that are going to be part of this Team AEW for Anarchy in the Arena versus Team Elite. Now, we're just like, all right, perfect setup for the 4th person who's going to be replacing Eddie Kingston at the pay-per-view. I kept thinking, it's Claudio. Like, why not? Why not be Claudio? And then that person comes out and is none other than Darby Allin. Darby Allin comes out. He has a mohawk, a blonde mohawk, very interesting. Or is that platinum blonde, whatever. And he has a pink coat. And, he comes in there and he's getting in on the action. And not only was I shocked, but I was just like, am I like making this up in my mind that I'm seeing Darby Allin of all people? Darby Allin got hit by a bus like 2 weeks ago. His foot's been broken. The Revolution match that he had with Sting, this dude went through 2 sheets of glass. Darby Allin is probably half alive right now, if that makes sense. How is he going to be in of all matches the Anarchy of the Arena? How is he going to participate in that? Is he even 100% clear? I find it very difficult to believe that he would be 100% clear. I don't know how quick it takes for a foot to heal in terms of it being broken. They did show the x-rays. Well, if that was his foot. And, in my opinion, I'm just like, what? How are you even back? And you're back in one piece. That's another thing, too. It almost don't seem believable. And I would say this. If it was my company, I would never even allow Darby, after everything that he's gone through, to even be in a match like this. After everything that he's gone through in this past 2 months, and he comes back to come back in that situation, Anarchy in the Arena match, it makes sense why he would be on here. With the whole thing with the Young Bucks and him and Sting match or whatever, being a pillar of AEW, and Jack Perry also being one as well. Like, it does make sense. However, with all the recent events of his injuries, why would you take this young man and put him in the ring? Like, Darby Allin, do you want to die or something? Like, are you okay when you are hurt and injured like that? It is just so weird of all people. I know a lot of people on social media, they seem like very divided on it, as into, why would you come back to this? Like, are you truly okay? A lot of people don't believe that he's even 100% for this match, and I am one of them. I really don't believe it. So for that reason alone, and they were in Washington. Darby's also from Washington too. He got a nice pop about it, and to me, if I was in that arena, I would have just been like, I wouldn't have made a noise. Not one little sound about Darby Allin being out there. Sometimes I just feel like he doesn't care if he makes it to the next day. I don't know. But guys, the show was good. I do feel like the order of the show could have been changed a little bit to be more, I don't know, feel like a better flow. Had a really great live stream for those of you who pulled up. I really do appreciate it. It makes things a little bit more fun when the show was kind of lacking in some parts. But I do recommend checking this show out. It wasn't bad. Next week, we do have the Go Home show for AEW. So I think they're going to turn up the heat a little bit. And I can't wait to see what they give us next week. But I'll be back tomorrow for Ring of Honor. Then on Saturday, Rampage and Collision. I'll see you guys then. Bye.